Ladies and gentlemen, saints and seekers, I greet you today not with empty platitudes, but with a divine declaration: there is a grace for change. This grace isn't just a pat on the back from heaven, no. It's the divine strength that empowers you to walk into the fullness of what God has purposed for your life. Grace, it's a word we've all heard, but few truly understand its depth. Grace is not just the unmerited favor of God. It is also the power of God moving in your life to help you become what you cannot become on your own. When change comes knocking at your door, and believe me, grace is the answer that opens it. Now, let me tell you something about change. Change is inevitable. There's no escaping it. Whether we like it or not, life keeps moving, shifting, evolving. Relationships change, careers pivot, and seasons of life bring their own unique challenges. But the question is, will you resist it or will you embrace it with the grace that God has given you? Too often we are creatures of habit, married to our comfort zones, locked into routines. And when the winds of change begin to blow, we dig in our heels and say, no, not yet, not me. But grace, God's grace, enables us to move beyond our own reluctance and step into the newness of what God is doing. There is a reason why God sent grace. He knew we'd resist. He knew we'd fight it. But grace breaks through that resistance. Now listen closely. You cannot grow without change. You cannot evolve, mature, or develop into what God has called you to be unless you allow His grace to transform you. Some of you are asking God for more, for bigger, for better, but you won't let go of the old. You're praying for a new harvest while you're still sowing old seeds. But let me remind you, grace is not just for staying the same. Grace is for transformation. You might say, but I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't know what's coming, but let me tell you, grace is for the uncertain moments. It's for the times when you don't know what tomorrow holds. It's for when the road is dark and you can't see your way through. In those moments, grace rises up to give you courage, to give you peace, to whisper, I am with you. God didn't give you grace just to survive. He gave you grace to thrive and change. And what about the mistakes of yesterday? Yes, the times we've fallen short, the times we missed the mark. Can I speak to someone here today? God's grace covers your past, but it also empowers your future. The grace of God will not allow you to be shackled by guilt and shame. No, grace says, rise up. You are forgiven. Now go forward and make the change. Let me remind you, there is a season for everything under heaven. There is a time to stay, and there is a time to move. Grace helps you discern God's timing. Some of you are standing at the edge of change, but you're waiting on the perfect conditions. I'm here to tell you that grace doesn't always wait for perfect circumstances. Grace gives you the boldness to step out, even when the ground is still shaking. And don't think for a moment that your change is only about you. When God graces you to change, it's so you can impact others. Your testimony, your transformation, your breakthrough is not just for you. It's for everyone who will see what God has done in your life and be encouraged to make their own changes. Let me close with this. The grace to make changes is not a passive grace. It's an active, forward-moving, mountain-shaking, faith-filled grace. It's the grace that graces you out of complacency. It's the grace that propels you into your destiny. And it's the grace that will leave you standing in awe of what God has done. So today my prayer is that you receive this grace, embrace it, and let it move you, because the grace to make changes is already on your life. Grace is more than just a word we throw around in church. It's the very essence of divine favor and empowerment. It is often described as unmerited favor, meaning it is a gift from God that we don't earn or deserve. But grace goes far beyond simply receiving blessings or forgiveness. It is the supernatural ability that God imparts to us to do what we cannot do in our own strength. Grace is the fuel that keeps us going when our energy is spent, the wind beneath our wings when we're too weak to rise. Think about it. Grace is the difference between striving and thriving. It's not just God overlooking your mistakes and shortcomings. It's God stepping into your life to empower you to rise above those very limitations. Grace doesn't just save you from your past, it propels you into your future. It's the enabling power that helps you navigate life's changes and challenges with a divine strength that is not your own. For grace is active, it moves, it equips, it transforms, it gives you the wisdom to make decisions when the path ahead is unclear, and the courage to step out in faith when fear threatens to paralyze you. It's not passive, waiting for you to fall. It's proactive, lifting you up and pushing you forward into what God has for you. When you feel stuck, grace reminds you that you don't have to remain where you are, because God's power is available to make change possible. Ultimately, grace is God's hand on your life, not only providing mercy, but also opening doors, breaking chains, and setting you free to be all that He has called you to be. It is the divine empowerment that allows you to make the necessary changes to fulfill your God-given purpose. Change is something none of us can avoid, whether we are prepared for it or not. Life constantly shifts and evolves around us. Seasons come and go, people enter and exit our lives, circumstances rise and fall, and no matter how much we try to hold on to the familiar, we find ourselves face to face with the reality that nothing in this world remains static. Change is inevitable because growth is inevitable. Life is designed to move forward, not to stay stagnant. You see, everything around us is in a state of transition. The leaves on the trees change with the seasons, the ocean tides ebb and flow, and even our own bodies grow and age with time. We may long for stability and certainty, but life continually reminds us that no matter how secure we feel today, tomorrow may bring something new, a different opportunity, a challenge, or an unexpected shift. And it's not just external change that happens internally, we are changing too. Our thoughts, our perspectives, our faith, and even our desires transform as we journey through life. The problem is that many of us resist change because it threatens our comfort zones. We crave predictability and we cling to what is familiar. But comfort zones are dangerous because they limit growth. When we refuse to embrace change, we often miss out on the blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs that God is preparing for us. Change may be uncomfortable, but it is also necessary for us to reach new levels of purpose and maturity. What we have to understand is that change is not our enemy. It is often the vehicle God uses to bring us into alignment with His will. Even though change may feel like loss at times, it's important to remember that with every ending, there is a new beginning. God never allows something to shift in our lives without having a purpose behind it. Every change carries potential for transformation, for growth, and for the unfolding of His greater plan. So while change is inevitable, how we respond to it is within our control. When we allow God's grace to work in us, we can navigate change with faith and trust, knowing that He is with us in every transition. It's not about fearing the changes that come, but about embracing them as part of the process of becoming who God has called us to be. When we recognize that God is in control, even in the shifting seasons, we can face change not with anxiety, but with expectation. Because in the end, change may be inevitable, but so is God's faithfulness through it all. Resistance to change is a natural human instinct rooted in our desire for stability and predictability. When faced with the prospect of change, many of us experience a visceral reaction: fear, anxiety, doubt. It's as if a protective mechanism kicks in, warning us that stepping into the unknown could bring danger or discomfort. We cling to the familiar because it feels safe, even if that familiarity comes with its own set of challenges and limitations. This resistance can manifest in various ways. It might show up as procrastination, where we delay taking necessary steps toward change. It could be the inner voice of doubt that says, you can't do this, or what if it doesn't work out? Sometimes it even presents itself as passive-aggressive behavior, where we sabotage our own progress because the discomfort of change feels more threatening than the pain of staying stuck. However, we must recognize that resistance often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and sometimes even fear of success. We become so accustomed to our routines and the way things are that the thought of altering them can feel overwhelming. This mindset keeps us tethered to our past, inhibiting our growth and keeping us from stepping into the fullness of what God has for us. We may feel comfortable in our current circumstances, but that comfort can become a cage, limiting our potential and stifling our dreams. It's crucial to understand that change is not inherently bad. In fact, change often leads to growth, improvement, and new opportunities. The problem arises when we allow our fears to dictate our decisions. Instead of seeing change as a doorway to new possibilities, we view it as a threat. This perspective can keep us paralyzed, leading us to resist the very things that could propel us forward. When we surrender to the resistance, we miss the chance to discover our true capabilities and the plans God has laid out for us. It is through overcoming resistance that we can tap into the grace available to us. Grace gives us the strength to push through discomfort and step into unfamiliar territory. It empowers us to face our fears and make the changes we need to thrive. We have to remind ourselves that while change may be difficult, it is also an essential part of the journey. By recognizing our resistance, we can confront it with courage and faith. Instead of allowing fear to control us, we can invite God into our struggles, asking Him to replace our doubts with trust. When we choose to embrace change rather than resist it, we open ourselves up to transformation, healing, and the fulfillment of God's purpose in our lives. Ultimately, the grace to make changes enables us to turn our resistance into resilience, empowering us to move forward into all that God has in store for us. Transformation is not just an option, it is a necessity for growth. Think about the natural world. Plants must undergo a metamorphosis from seed to sapling to mature tree. Each stage of growth requires significant changes, adaptations, and sometimes even painful adjustments. Without transformation, there can be no evolution. In our lives, the same principle holds true. If we want to become who God has called us to be, we must be willing to undergo transformation. Many people yearn for growth but hesitate when faced with the need for change. They want to reach new heights, achieve their goals, and deepen their relationships, yet they resist the transformative process that makes it possible. Transformation requires us to let go of old habits, beliefs, and even relationships that no longer serve our purpose. It demands that we confront our limitations and expand our horizons. This can be uncomfortable, even painful, as it often involves shedding the familiar skin of our past selves and stepping into the unknown. The truth is, God's plan for us often involves a transformation that is beyond our current understanding. It may push us to the brink of our comfort zones, but that's precisely where growth happens. When we are stretched and challenged, we discover new strengths, develop resilience, and gain insights that we couldn't have achieved while remaining in our comfort zones. It's through transformation that we learn to rely on God's grace rather than our own abilities, realizing that we are capable of so much more when we lean into His power. Moreover, transformation is not always a linear process. It can feel messy, chaotic, and disorienting. We may take one step forward and two steps back, questioning whether the changes we are experiencing are leading us toward growth or simply causing confusion. But every setback can be a setup for a comeback if we allow ourselves to see it through the lens of transformation. God often uses these moments of struggle to refine us, teaching us valuable lessons and molding our character. In the spiritual realm, transformation is crucial for our faith journey. We cannot expect to grow in our relationship with God if we remain stagnant. To deepen our faith, we must be open to change, whether it's through prayer, studying the Word, serving others, or stepping out in faith. These transformative experiences challenge us to trust God more deeply and align our lives with His purpose. Ultimately, transformation is a divine invitation to participate in God's work in our lives. It's the process through which we are shaped into His likeness, reflecting His character and love to the world around us. The journey may be challenging, but it is also incredibly rewarding. Each step we take in the transformative process brings us closer to our true selves and the fullness of life that God has in store for us. So as we navigate through life's changes, let us embrace the necessity of transformation. Let us lean into God's grace, trusting that each transformation is an opportunity for growth, renewal, and deeper intimacy with our Creator. In doing so, we will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the purpose for which we were made. Growth is not just a destination, it's a journey of continual transformation, and through God's grace, we can navigate it with courage and confidence. In times of uncertainty, grace becomes an invaluable lifeline, offering us the strength and peace we desperately need. Life is inherently unpredictable, and we often find ourselves navigating through situations that leave us feeling anxious, unsure, and overwhelmed. Whether it's a sudden job loss, a health scare, or unexpected changes in our relationships, uncertainty can shake the very foundation of our lives. Yet it is in these moments of chaos and unpredictability that grace shines its brightest. Grace and uncertainty is a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. When everything around us feels unstable, grace assures us that God is our constant source of support. It provides a sanctuary in the storm, allowing us to find refuge in His presence. This divine empowerment helps us confront our fears and anxieties head-on, encouraging us to trust in God's plan, even when we can't see the way forward. In those moments of doubt, grace whispers, "I am with you," calming our restless hearts and reminding us that we have the strength to face whatever comes our way. Moreover, grace helps us cultivate resilience during uncertain times. It allows us to adapt and respond to changing circumstances without losing sight of our purpose. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, we can embrace the unknown with a sense of hope and expectancy, knowing that God is orchestrating every detail of our lives for our good. Grace teaches us that uncertainty does not equate to failure or defeat. Rather, it is often the precursor to new beginnings and fresh opportunities. During these periods of uncertainty, we may be tempted to cling to control, try to manage every aspect of our lives. However, grace invites us to release that need for control and to lean into faith. It encourages us to surrender our worries and to trust that God's timing is perfect. This surrender is not an act of weakness, it is an act of profound strength. When we allow grace to take the lead, we open ourselves to divine guidance that transcends our understanding. Furthermore, grace helps us shift our perspective on uncertainty. Instead of viewing it solely as a threat, we can see it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Uncertainty often prompts us to reevaluate our priorities, our relationships, and our faith. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and encourages us to explore new paths we may not have considered before. Grace empowers us to view challenges as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, igniting our creativity and resourcefulness in the face of the unknown. Finally, grace in uncertainty teaches us the value of community and support. It reminds us that we do not have to face life's unpredictability alone. God often places people in our lives, friends, family, mentors who can provide encouragement, insight, and companionship during difficult times. Grace allows us to be vulnerable, to share our struggles, and to seek help when we need it. In turn, as we extend grace to others, we create a network of support that strengthens us all. In conclusion, grace and uncertainty is not merely a passive acceptance of life's unpredictability, it is an active engagement with the divine. It equips us to navigate the unknown with faith, resilience, and hope. In every moment of uncertainty, we can choose to lean into grace, trusting that God is at work, even when we cannot see the full picture. Through grace, we are empowered to embrace the journey, knowing that every twist and turn is part of a greater plan that is unfolding for our good and His glory. Forgiveness is a profound and often complex journey that involves both forgiving others and, equally importantly, forgiving ourselves. In a world that constantly reminds us of our imperfections, the act of forgiveness can feel daunting, yet it is essential for healing and moving forward. When we hold on to grudges or guilt, we anchor ourselves to the past, preventing growth and transformation. Understanding the necessity of forgiveness is crucial for experiencing the fullness of God's grace in our lives. Forgiving others is often where we begin, but it's important to recognize that this process isn't always straightforward. People hurt us in ways that can be deep and lasting, leaving scars that can affect our ability to trust and connect with others. When we choose to forgive, we are not condoning the actions of those who have wronged us. Rather, we are choosing to release the hold that their actions have over our lives. This release is not about the offender, it's about liberating ourselves from the emotional baggage that comes from holding on to anger and resentment. Forgiveness is an act of grace we give ourselves, allowing us to reclaim our peace and emotional well-being. However, forgiving others can be particularly challenging when we have experienced deep pain or betrayal. It may require time, prayer, and sometimes even professional help to navigate our feelings. Yet we must understand that forgiveness does not mean forgetting or minimizing the hurt caused. Instead, it is a conscious decision to let go of the desire for retribution or revenge, choosing instead to embrace compassion and understanding. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the bitterness that can poison our hearts, making space for healing and restoration. Equally significant is the need to forgive ourselves. Many people struggle with self-forgiveness, often clinging to guilt or shame over past mistakes. This internal conflict can be one of the greatest barriers to personal growth and spiritual development. We are all human, and as such, we will make mistakes. Accepting this truth is the first step towards self-forgiveness. Just as we extend grace to others, we must learn to extend that same grace to ourselves. Self-forgiveness requires us to confront our feelings of guilt and acknowledge the lessons learned from our experiences. It's about recognizing that our past does not define us, rather, it is a part of our journey. We are not perfect, and God does not expect us to be. In fact, it is through our imperfections that we often experience the depth of God's grace. Embracing our humanity allows us to learn, grow, and evolve into the individuals we are meant to be. Moreover, forgiving ourselves often requires us to replace negative self-talk with affirmations of love and acceptance. We need to remind ourselves that we are worthy of love, joy, and forgiveness, both from others and from ourselves. This practice of self-compassion can be transformative, enabling us to break free from the chains of self-condemnation and to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. It is essential to understand that forgiveness, both of others and of ourselves, is an ongoing process. It may not happen overnight, and it may require continuous effort and reflection. However, every step we take toward forgiveness brings us closer to freedom. When we forgive, we make room for healing, joy, and the transformative power of God's love to flow through our lives. Ultimately, embracing forgiveness is a powerful act of grace. It is an acknowledgement that while we may have been hurt, we refuse to let that hurt define us. Instead, we choose to rise above it, embracing the new beginnings that forgiveness can bring. By forgiving ourselves and others, we create a pathway to healing and transformation, aligning ourselves with the heart of God and reflecting His grace to the world around us. Understanding God's timing for change can be one of the most challenging yet rewarding aspects of our spiritual journey. In a world that thrives on immediacy and quick results, we often find ourselves grappling with the tension between our desires for change and the reality of waiting. However, God's timing is not bound by our schedules. It operates on a divine timeline that is perfect and purposeful. When we seek change in our lives, whether it's a new job, a shift in relationships, or a desire for personal growth, we may feel impatient or anxious when the answers don't come as quickly as we hope. We live in a culture that encourages us to take control, to push forward, and to make things happen. Yet God's timing teaches us to embrace the process of waiting, knowing that it often serves a greater purpose. One of the most profound truths about God's timing is that it is always aligned with His greater plan for us. We may not see the full picture or understand why we are in a season of waiting, but we can trust that God is working behind the scenes. Just as a farmer must patiently await the harvest after planting seeds, we too must cultivate patience in the waiting seasons of our lives. This process allows us to grow deeper roots in our faith, learning to rely on God rather than on our own understanding. In times of waiting, we are often invited to reflect, grow, and prepare for the changes that are on the horizon. God uses these moments to refine our character, strengthen our faith, and equip us for what lies ahead. It is in the waiting that we learn resilience and perseverance. We discover more about ourselves and our relationship with God, gaining insights that we might overlook during busier times. Waiting can become a sacred space where God shapes us, revealing aspects of His character and teaching us to trust in His perfect timing. Moreover, God's timing encourages us to align our desires with His will. It prompts us to seek His guidance through prayer, scripture, and community. When we invite God into our decision-making process, we begin to see changes from a different perspective. Instead of viewing change as something we must control, we learn to embrace it as part of God's unfolding plan. This shift in mindset allows us to find peace in uncertainty and confidence in the face of the unknown. It's essential to remember that change can be multifaceted, and it often unfolds gradually rather than in a single dramatic moment. Just as seasons transition slowly, winter gives way to spring, and spring blooms into summer, so too does God's plan for our lives often evolve over time. This gradual unfolding can be difficult to recognize, especially when we are caught in the throes of our own expectations. However, we must remain vigilant and open to the signs of change that God may be presenting, trusting that He is leading us toward a new season of growth and transformation. Finally, God's timing for change is a reminder of His faithfulness. When we look back at our lives, we can often see how God orchestrated events in ways that we couldn't have anticipated. Those moments when we felt stuck or uncertain often paved the way for breakthroughs and blessings that we never could have imagined. God's timing reassures us that He is actively involved in our lives, working all things together for our good. In conclusion, embracing God's timing for change requires us to cultivate patience, trust, and a willingness to surrender our plans to Him. While waiting can be challenging, it is also an opportunity for profound growth and transformation. As we learn to trust in God's perfect timing, we can face changes with faith, knowing that He is leading us to a future filled with hope and purpose. So let us hold fast to the promise that even in our waiting, God is at work, preparing us for the next chapter of our lives, a chapter that is marked by His grace, love, and divine timing. Faith plays a crucial role in the process of change, acting as both a foundation and a catalyst for transformation in our lives. When we face uncertain circumstances or significant transitions, it is our faith that often provides the strength and courage to embrace the unknown. In many ways, faith serves as a bridge, connecting us to God's promises and helping us navigate the challenges that come with change. At its core, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. It encourages us to look beyond our current circumstances and to trust in a future that is guided by God's hand. When we encounter change, whether anticipated or unexpected, it is easy to become overwhelmed by fear and doubt. However, faith invites us to step back from our worries and to lean into God's truth. It reminds us that we are not walking this journey alone. Rather, we have a divine partner who is intimately involved in our lives. Having faith in God during times of change empowers us to take courageous steps forward. It enables us to move beyond our comfort zones and to embrace new opportunities, even when they come with risks. This type of faith is not blind, it is an informed trust based on our understanding of God's character, His promises, and His past faithfulness in our lives. When we reflect on the ways God has guided and provided for us in the past, we are reminded that He will continue to do so as we move into new seasons of life. Moreover, faith encourages us to maintain a positive perspective amid uncertainty. When change is on the horizon, it's natural to focus on the potential pitfalls and challenges. However, faith shifts our gaze from what could go wrong to what could go right. It helps us envision the possibilities that lie ahead, allowing us to approach change with hope rather than dread. This hopeful outlook can inspire us to take proactive steps toward our goals, trusting that God is working in and through us to bring about His purposes. Additionally, faith fosters resilience during the inevitable difficulties that accompany change. Life is filled with ups and downs, and change can bring both excitement and discomfort. In times of struggle, our faith acts as an anchor, grounding us in the knowledge that God is faithful even when circumstances seem bleak. It reassures us that our challenges do not define us. Instead, they are opportunities for growth and deeper reliance on God. Faith helps us to persevere, reminding us that every setback is often a setup for a comeback and that God is using our experiences to shape us into the people we are meant to be. As we journey through change, faith also connects us to a broader community. It encourages us to seek support and guidance from fellow believers who can walk alongside us during transitional times. When we share our experiences, struggles, and victories with others, we find encouragement and strength in the collective faith of the community. This interconnectedness enriches our journey, reminding us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Ultimately, the role of faith in change is transformative. It not only helps us navigate the complexities of life, but also enables us to see change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to our stability. When we embrace change with faith, we open ourselves up to the possibility of becoming more than we ever thought possible. We begin to see change not just as an event, but as a divine invitation to step into the fullness of what God has in store for us. In conclusion, faith is a vital component of the change process. It equips us to face the unknown with confidence, provides resilience in times of struggle, and encourages us to remain hopeful amidst uncertainty. As we place our faith in God, we are empowered to embrace change, trusting that He is orchestrating our lives for His glory and our ultimate good. Through faith, we can confidently navigate the journey of transformation, knowing that each step is guided by a loving and faithful God who has a perfect plan for our lives. Empowerment to change others is a profound and transformative journey that often begins with understanding the impact we can have on those around us. It involves recognizing that we are not just passive observers in the lives of others. We hold the potential to influence and inspire change through our words, actions, and example. This empowerment is rooted in love, compassion, and a genuine desire to see others thrive and reach their fullest potential. At the heart of empowerment is the belief that everyone has the capacity for change. It's easy to become disillusioned when we see others stuck in negative patterns or struggling with their challenges. However, when we approach others with the mindset that they can change, we set the stage for transformation. Our belief in their potential can serve as a powerful catalyst, encouraging them to break free from self-imposed limitations and to pursue a new path. By expressing confidence in their abilities and encouraging them to take small, meaningful steps, we can help ignite a spark of motivation that inspires real change. Empowerment also requires active engagement and support. It's not enough to simply believe in someone's ability to change. We must also offer our assistance, guidance, and encouragement. This can take many forms, from providing a listening ear to offering practical help in overcoming obstacles. Sometimes just being present for someone can make a significant difference. When we create a safe space for individuals to share their struggles and aspirations, we foster an environment where they feel valued, understood. This validation can empower them to take the next steps toward change. Moreover, our own journey of personal growth and change can inspire others to embark on their own transformative paths. When we demonstrate resilience, humility, and a commitment to improvement in our lives, we set an example for those around us. Our stories of overcoming challenges and pursuing growth can resonate deeply with others, encouraging them to reflect on their own lives and the changes they desire. By sharing our experiences and the lessons we've learned, we empower others to believe that they too can navigate their challenges and create positive change. Another critical aspect of empowerment is fostering a sense of agency in others. Many individuals struggle with feelings of helplessness or inadequacy, believing that they lack the power to change their circumstances. By helping them recognize their strengths and the choices available to them, we can shift their mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. Encouraging them to take ownership of their lives and decisions instills confidence and a sense of control over their future. Additionally, empowerment involves cultivating resilience in others. Change can be daunting and setbacks are often part of the journey. By teaching others how to cope with challenges and adapt to new situations, we equip them with the tools they need to persevere. Encouraging a growth mindset where failures are seen as opportunities for learning rather than as defeats can empower individuals to approach change with optimism and determination. Furthermore, empowerment to change others also emphasizes the importance of community and collaboration. When we work together towards a common goal, we create a powerful support system that amplifies our collective strength. By fostering a sense of belonging and teamwork, we enable individuals to feel connected and supported in their journey of change. This sense of community not only enhances motivation, but also encourages accountability as individuals feel a shared responsibility to one another's growth and progress. In conclusion, empowerment to change others is a multifaceted process that involves belief support, personal example, and community engagement. It requires us to recognize the potential for change within others and to actively participate in their journey of transformation. When we empower others to embrace change, we create a ripple effect that extends beyond individual lives, fostering a culture of growth, resilience, and hope. Ultimately, by investing in the empowerment of others, we contribute to a brighter, more vibrant community where everyone has the opportunity to thrive and flourish. Testimony of change is a powerful narrative that illustrates the transformative journey one undergoes, often highlighting the profound impact of faith, resilience, and support from others. Each story of change carries within it the potential to inspire and uplift, serving as a testament to the capacity for growth and renewal that resides in every individual. These testimonies remind us that change is not only possible, but also an integral part of our life experiences. At the heart of any testimony of change is the recognition of a pivotal moment or series of events that spark the desire for transformation. Often, this moment is born out of struggle, be it personal, relational, or spiritual. It might be a turning point after facing significant challenges, such as overcoming addiction, navigating difficult relationship, or grappling with loss. These struggles serve as catalysts for change, prompting individuals to seek a new direction or purpose in their lives. For many, the journey of change begins with a deep sense of dissatisfaction or unrest. This awareness can lead to a powerful awakening, a realization that the current way of living is no longer fulfilling or sustainable. It is in this space of discomfort that the seeds of change are often planted. Individuals may feel compelled to reflect on their values, beliefs, and goals, prompting them to take a courageous step toward transformation. Faith frequently plays a vital role in these testimonies. Many individuals share how their spiritual beliefs provided them with the strength to pursue change, serving as a guiding light during challenging times. It is through prayer, meditation, or engagement with a supportive faith community that they found the courage to confront their fears and embrace the unknown. Faith becomes a source of hope, reminding them that they are not alone in their journey and that divine assistance is available to those who seek it. As the transformation unfolds, individuals often experience profound shifts in perspective. They learn to let go of limiting beliefs and embrace a new mindset that empowers them to take action. This process can involve stepping out of comfort zones, taking risks, and embracing vulnerability. Each small step taken towards change builds momentum, reinforcing their belief in their ability to create a new reality. Moreover, the role of community in testimonies of change cannot be understated. Many people recount how the support of friends, family, or mentors made a significant difference in their journeys. These connections provide encouragement, accountability, and understanding, creating an environment where individuals feel safe to explore their potential. Through shared experiences and collective growth, communities become powerful agents of change, offering resources and inspiration to those seeking to transform their lives. The process of change is rarely linear. Testimonies often highlight the ups and downs encountered along the way, setbacks, doubts, and moments of fear. However, it is through these challenges that individuals find resilience. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to learn and grow, reinforcing their determination to keep moving forward. The lessons learned during these difficult times become part of their testimony, showcasing the strength of the human spirit. Ultimately, a testimony of change culminates in a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Individuals often emerge from their journeys with a newfound clarity about who they are and what they want to achieve. They may feel a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences that shaped them, recognizing that every struggle contributed to their growth. This transformation not only impacts their lives, but also extends to those around them, inspiring others to embark on their journeys of change. In sharing testimonies of change, individuals contribute to a larger narrative that celebrates resilience and hope. These stories resonate with others who may be facing their own struggles, offering encouragement and reminding them that transformation is possible. They serve as beacons of light, illustrating that change is not just a personal endeavor, but a collective journey that connects us all. In conclusion, testimonies of change embody the essence of the human experience, the struggles, the growth, the triumphs, and the connections formed along the way. They remind us that change is a dynamic process filled with possibilities, urging us to embrace our journeys with courage and faith. As we share our stories, we create a tapestry of hope that inspires and empowers others to pursue their paths of transformation, affirming that change is indeed a beautiful and vital part of life. In conclusion, the journey of change is both a deeply personal and profoundly collective experience. Throughout this exploration of grace, faith, empowerment, and the testimonies of transformation, we have come to understand that change is not merely an event, it is a process woven into the very fabric of our lives. Embracing change requires us to lean into the grace that God provides, recognizing that His timing is perfect, even when we cannot see the full picture. Our faith serves as our guiding light, enabling us to navigate the uncertainties of life and empowering us to impact others positively. When we believe in the capacity for change both in ourselves and in those around us, we create a ripple effect of hope and transformation. The stories we share of overcoming struggles, of learning to forgive, and of stepping into new seasons inspire others to embark on their journeys toward growth. Let us remember that change often comes with challenges and setbacks, but these moments are opportunities for growth and resilience. By supporting one another in our journeys, we can cultivate a community where everyone feels valued, empowered, and capable of embracing change. As we move forward, may we carry with us the understanding that we are all in this together. Let us be instruments of change in our own lives and in the lives of others, sharing our testimonies and celebrating the grace that enables us to transform and grow. Together, we can create a brighter, more hopeful future fueled by the belief that change is not only possible, but a beautiful part of our journey. Thank you.